yesterday we had a really spirited conversation about the state of our union, and I was particularly angry because I feel like we don't show up for the elections that matter, and we don't have a
Uh,
really good civics understanding about
uh,
what's really impacting our lives. So, you know, we won't show up for attorney general races, for judges. Judge Schroeder, set him loose, Bruce Schroeder, elected, right, and ran unopposed to 6 year terms. So we're talking about back to back to back
yep.
6 year terms. Nobody's running against him. And of course, he wins because there's nobody running against him. So we're not even showing up for those elections to make sure somebody's running against them, number one, but that we're voting because we see elections have consequences, as this judge, to me, is making a mockery of anything that makes any sense in this country. But you're watching all of these cases play out now as the attorney general running for reelection.
Sure.
Give us some insight into what's happening, and let me just stop there because I love asking compound questions. Let me give you a chance to breathe. Give us some insight into what you're seeing play out nationally.
Well, I really think that we're in the middle of two things. We went from a Jim Crow society, and we now have a multiracial democracy, and we have not made the conversion yet, right? So we lived for 250 years as a slave-holding nation, 100 years as a Jim Crow society. Then we switch over in the 1960s to a multiracial, inclusive society, and yet we have relics and vestiges and holdouts and a lot of folks who just like it the old way. And in these particular cases, these cases are critical. I mean, the Arbery case is playing out, the Rittenhour case is playing out, and there will be more coming up. And so, quite honestly, I'd say that you've got to participate in jury selection. Don't ever be the one looking for a way out of it, because your participation may be the only thing that ensures that the case is handled in a fair way. And I would certainly say that if you're in the journalism business, as you are, Karen, you got to tell the story or people won't know it. They operate on assumption. They'll operate on stereotype. They'll operate on the basis of ignorance. But we've got to stay involved, because this struggle for a just society, a just inclusive society, is still on, and we're watching it play out.
Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison is with us. He announced today he's running for reelection. And in your backyard, you have not just Derek Chauvin, who was convicted under your tutelage. The other three officers are their trials coming up as well. What
Yeah.
can we expect from that, and what's your strategy? Well, don't give away too much, but how is this going to play out differently or similarly in your opinion?
Well, we're not, the judges don't allow lawyers like me to say anything that could potentially influence a jury. So I'm not really at liberty to speak freely as I might after the trial. I will be able to, I can say this. They are charged with the same charges as Chauvin was. And they are also charged with aiding and abetting. And under the law, in Minnesota, if someone commits a crime and you assist them in the commission of that crime knowingly, you're responsible like they are. And
Walk
so
us.
that
No, go ahead. Sorry.
so that's what it is. I mean, that case is set for jury trial on March 8th. We'll see. They're also charged in federal court for federal civil rights violations, all of them. And that case is proceeding parallel as well. And so those three guys have their hands full.
What you're running for attorney general again? You won.
Yeah,
What does the attorney general do for people? Because again,
good
civics
question.
101, civics 101 is like Congress. Why don't they just do X, Y, and Z? Well, Congress just can't do whatever it is we want them to do. The president should blah, 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 blah. Well, the president really has very specific duties, and it's really three. He's not king, or she's not queen. what is an attorney general, and why is this position important for people who are listening?
So here's the thing about the attorney general. Every single state has one, plus several territories connected to the United States have them. District of Columbia, the Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands, Guam have them. 43 of the total are elected by the people, as I am. And this is an old historic job. It's been around for literally hundreds of years. It preceded the United States to carry over from England. And what is the Attorney General? The chief law officer of the state. So the thing is that I represent the people of the state of Minnesota. And so if there's somebody who is engaging in any sort of fraud, misrepresentation, anything like that, I can sue them on behalf of the people of the state of Minnesota. So I just got through talking about how we just successfully sued this crappy landlord who has like literally lots and lots of properties. His name's Stephen Meldal. And if you saw this document, it would say State of Minnesota by its Attorney General Keith Ellison. So I'm legally entitled to sue on the behalf of the people of the state. But the other thing I do is I represent state agencies. So the Department of Corrections, Department of Veterans Affairs, Department of Transportation, Departments of Human Rights, these are all my clients. The Board of Medical Licensing, the Board of Animal Husbandry, I represent them all. I also represent the people of the state of Minnesota before the Public Utilities Commission. Now, folks listening might say, well, what's that? Well, you know them. You may not know them, but you know them. You get an energy bill, heating bill, light bill, that is a utility. And what rates you pay are determined by the Public Utilities Commission, and your advocate is me in the state of Minnesota. And in New York, it's Tish James, and in Nevada, it's Aaron Ford, and in depending on where you are, Josh Shapiro in Pennsylvania. And so the Attorney General often is the prosecutor of last resort, meaning if the local county attorney for some reason can't do the case, the AG gets the case. So in my particular case, Hennepin County Attorney Mike Friedman said, look, I need you to take this case. And I said, of course. We're going to trial on November 30th in the Kim Potter case. I don't know if you all were watching.
Taser. That's the taser officer that shot when she was supposedly pulling out a taser, but shot an unarmed person.
Yeah, Dante Wright was the victim in that situation. So that case is live on November 30th. And again, as I mentioned before, they don't allow me to talk all about it, but the allegations are first-degree manslaughter and second-degree manslaughter. If you kill somebody and it's unintentional, the law does allow for you to be held accountable if your level of negligence it rises to the level of culpability. And that is what we're alleging in this case.